One thing that we want to note before we go into the personnel action request form, once you submit the fiscal sufficiency form, you will receive an FS number. The FS number always starts FS, and you would use this in the fiscal sufficiency in the personnel action form. I'm sorry. So we want to make sure that you, one, understand that you're going to receive that number. It'll be emailed to you in a copy of your request once you submit the actual fiscal sufficiency form. So just as a side note, you want to keep those emails so that you can reference them in personnel action request. Like the fiscal sufficiency form, the personnel action request form is broken down into 3 sections. Personnel action request form is for all personnel actions that require human resources and budget approval. So I just wanted to point that out. We have section A, which is the demographic information that's very similar to the fiscal sufficiency form. The requester name, title, email address, their department name, their VP approval. Section B is the PAR data. This is where you would use that fiscal sufficiency number. You want to put that in. If you are using a paper form for fully signed off fiscal sufficiency forms prior to March 31 or April 1st of 2020, you would write in here paper form. And move on with your transaction. Or if you had a fiscal sufficiency number, you would enter it here. The personnel action request, this is what you're requesting for HR and budget to approve. And of course, it goes through the normal approval processes, which starts with your department manager, then goes to your VP, to the CEO, the budget officer, and the CFO. This is where you would use either employment, resignation, discharge, a change in category. All of your selections are here. If it's other, be sure to include the details in your remarks. In the remarks section, there's a section down here below that says remarks. This is where you would enter that. But you would go through and enter the employee's name, title, number. For new hires, Human Resources will enter that number for you on your behalf, so you don't need to do that for a new hire. One thing I also want to note, for a resignation fiscal sufficiency, in the past, when we were using the paper forms, you would do a resignation PAR and attach a fiscal sufficiency for approval of a new hire. We're not doing it exactly that way. You're first starting with the fiscal sufficiency, and you will receive that fiscal sufficiency number for a resignation. Then you would submit the resignation PAR with the employee's information. And when you would use that same fiscal sufficiency number when you would hire someone to replace the person who was resigning. So I just wanted to point that out before we move further along. Under section C of the PAR, that's your submission data. If it is for a resignation, you attach a resignation letter. If it's a change in FTE, you would make sure that you have a signed off form that Human Resources provides to you where the employee is signing off if they received it. For new hires, a major change for new hires, you're no longer submitting a separate email to recruiting@unitedmedicalcenter.com. You're not doing an email that way. When you have an employment PAR now, you're going to attach the application, the IT access form, the resume, all right here on the actual PAR. Again, you would then use, put in your department manager's name. Again, if you're a department head, you want to use your name and make sure that you approve it. And the PAR submission status, if this is a new request and the budget office is not asking you to request update information, you're just entering a new request. You never enter HR entry, HR update. That's for HR entry only. And the requester update, again, if the budget office asks for additional information through the form, you would go in, respond to those comments, and select requester update. Again, you can send yourself or whoever you like a copy and hit submit.